Okay, so this is Project 3319. I'm Justice, and I'm here today with a teacher of mine, David Goza. He's here to give his backstory on his life and things that impact him and some cool stuff that he has to share. So, hi, Mr. Goza. How'd you get into this?
I didn't think you'd actually
I've been
get
doing
it.
most of my life. In middle school, I did a show, and I don't remember what it's called, but it was the premise of it was giants coming down from a beanstalk and kidnapping people, but they believed that farting was okay, but burping was disgusting. So much the opposite of what people actually believe now. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember that.
And then you've been doing this like throughout like college and stuff, and then
Yeah, since middle school. And I can't do the math right now.
And then, so what led you into teaching?
Well, my mom asked me a long time ago what I wanted to be when I grew up, and my first response was to be a game show host, and I don't know why. But she's always said I was really dramatic, and I kind of just fell into it, doing lighting, sound, and then getting that after that.
Let's see. You have a thing you told me about a long time ago about extending a hand to help kids that learn and whatnot.
I've been doing theater in all aspects, stage, backstage, film, and stuff so much that I kind of like the idea of having so much information that I can hand it off to people that do want it, that do need it, that want to specialize in one or two things. Kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. And if you have a passion for it or any one bit of it and I can help, I'd love to do that.
That's cool. You've told me in the past, this is going to get a little geeky, but you told me in the past about your like for the character of Penance.
Yeah.
Want to explain that a little bit?
Penance is actually the reason for the Marvel Civil War in comics, not in the movie form. There's a character of Speedball, and Speedball is like a third generation B-rated superhero, but he has the power to absorb and redirect kinetic energy, and he loses his power when he goes up against Nitro. He absorbs a nuclear blast, but also in the process kills about 300 to 600 people, and loses his powers in the way that they kind of just disappear. And he's in prison. He's beaten up every day because not even those criminals think that he's a decent individual. And through the process of being beat up, he realizes that his powers do still work, but only work if he's physically accosted or physically, abused in any way. And so he created a suit that had 600 spikes that would jet into his body at his command, and that pain would cause his ability to manifest. And from that point on, he called himself Penance in the aspect of not being on any side, good or evil, X-Men, Avengers, nothing like that. He was a sole entity, and he became so powerful that he could take down just about any superhero he wanted. So he kind of secluded himself away from everyone else and just fought for the right of anyone who needed, whether they be bad or good.
Yeah, my first introduction to him was in the video game Ultimate Alliance 2. It was a character that I hadn't seen before or known before.
I don't know.
And then I just liked his outfit, and he's kind of explained
Looks like Volvo from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, he kind of looked, and he sounded very angry about stuff, and he was very let down about himself and everything. And I had no idea what it was about. And then the whole spike thing was explained to me, and then I was taken back because I had never seen this character before.
Yeah, he became so powerful they kind of had to write him off as just being that the guy that comes in to clean up the messes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they kept on with a storyline with him, there's really no one that could compete with him.
Cool. And then, so this is going to be a spoiler-free section of the podcast. But you have seen Civil War, the film.
I have.
And what are your thoughts on it?
I was impressed with their ability to keep the heart of what the message of the storyline was, without actually having the ability to do what was originally intended, because they didn't introduce a lot of the characters that were in the Civil War in the comic, but they did keep the original argument and kind of moral stance from the characters into the movie. So that was yeah, that was something I found impressive. Overall, it was entertaining as well. So.
And I know you are a big, from what I've seen from you, you are a pretty big Captain America fan.
I do like Captain America.
And then at the end of the film that you
I happen to be Team Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't let him go unchecked. I understand where Cap's coming from when he says that the government shouldn't control him. However, his system only works if everyone is totally uncorruptible, and he is the only uncorruptible hero in everything. And in the comics, they actually show, not in the movie, but in the comics itself, they actually show Spider-Man showing up on Stark's side, and he goes ahead and unmasks himself on live TV, and not 2 days later was his family, Mary Jane and Aunt May, attacked by Green Goblin and a bunch of the other ones that he loved in his family, because they found out who he was, and he was promised by Stark that they would be protected, and they weren't. So he ended up actually switching sides onto, like when he turned, he switches to Captain America's side. And something else they don't do in the movie that they did in the comics is they actually created their own versions of the Suicide Squad. They took bad guys and said, hey, we will legitimize you if you fight against those heroes that didn't sign up. Mm-hmm. So these villains all of a sudden found themselves on a government payroll fighting the people they were already fighting. So it's once again, it's a good idea, but both sides of it, there are issues with both sides.
Yeah, for the main reason I stayed sided with Team Cap on this film is, and spoiler alert for Avengers and the second Captain America, was how in those films, like, the government in the Avengers, the government sent a nuke in to destroy the city when the Avengers were having trouble, and then Winter Soldier, S.H.I.E.L.D. got disrupted by Hydra. So for me personally, I saw how Cap was a little hesitant to join sides with another government because he's seen them fall before or make decisions that wouldn't affect the people.
Yeah, and I can understand the hesitance and all of that, but at the same time, there's both good and bad to both sides. It's just kind of choose the lesser evil for you.
Right.
And I feel like there is no right answer to that dilemma, because there is no way to govern something so powerful without there being some kind of side agenda.
Right.
But leaving people completely unchecked it can't work.
You think it's the best film, or at least the best superhero film you've seen this year?
Yes. I'm impressed with the Avengers movies in general, because it doesn't take any one superhero, but it takes all of them, and it doesn't say this person's taking all the spotlight. And while this was Team Cap versus Team Iron Man, there's still so much more added in that you can kind of follow.
Yeah. Do you have any questions? I'm running low here. What else I got?
What's your favorite food? Yeah, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Do you mean like meal or genre or actual like individual item of food? It's
all of it.
All of it. My favorite genre of food, I would have to say, is I'll be vague and say Mediterranean, so like anything Greek, Italian, things like that. My favorite food it always comes down to it, but it's baklava, which is Greek dessert, and item of food, something I can eat like all day, just out of the package. Probably olives.
You have any plans for any future plans? Anything you're looking forward to doing or whatnot?
This summer, hopefully I'll get a call, but I auditioned for American Idiot, the Green Day musical, and if I get into that, I'll be doing that over the summer, and I'm going to Harry Potter World with some people.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Oh, and I'm going to try and get a 3D printer for the school for the theater department, so that'll be fun too.
Nice.
You can steal the tech.
I'd rather have one of my own. I'm going to go for the $1,000 one that's a little big. We'll see what they let me do, though.
All right, cool. I think that about wraps it up. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
What was that for?